All right, welcome to the Letcher County Extension Show. I'm your host, Shad Baker, and I have waited 17 years to get to do a program on these little guys right here. And some of you are seeing this right now, and you are saying, why on earth do you want to talk about those things? And the rest of you are probably curious about them, and so I thought I'd talk about them a little bit. Yeah, you know, I love bugs. Insects of different kinds, and this is a really interesting one. So what we have with us here is a periodical cicada, and it gets that name obviously because it only comes out every so often, and there are several different types. There's a 13-year, there's a 17-year, and then there are different broods. So the broods, if you want to look at it this way, they're like families. So we'll say they're like Halls or they're like Bakers or whatever, and they live in certain areas. Different broods do. So they don't all come out the same year, and not all of them have the same area. Just like some families are big and some families are small, some broods of the cicada are large and some are smaller. But they will come out of the ground as adults, and they come out as a nymph. So they're not adults yet. They're not in that final stage. But when they come out, they will molt. They kind of split open out of their shell, and out comes the adult version of them, which is what I have in my hand here. And that adult version will come out, and that's what we're hearing singing in the background right now. They will... This time of the year, they're doing just a constant roar, but it will eventually get to the point that it's making the Pharaoh sound, and you can hear them changing a little bit. But that's basically their mating call. So they're looking for a mate, and after they've mated, the females will go up in the trees or bushes, and they will look for a limb that is roughly the same diameter as a pencil, and they've got what they call an ovipositor. So it's like a sharp piercing piece that's on their tail, and they will jab that into the woody stems of these trees, and they will lay eggs in a row down that limb. And as those larvae size up a little bit, it will cause that limb to split, and when it splits, they will fall out and they will hit the ground and burrow into the ground, and the limb that they were up in originally, from that point out, the limb will die. So later in the summer, probably around July, you'll start to see the tips of a lot of trees, the branches will start to turn brown and die. And it's not going to kill the tree. It's just that little part of the tree will die. And unfortunately, that tends to be where the nuts and the fruit and things are located on the plants that they lay their eggs in. So if it's a blueberry bush, or if it's a bramble, a blackberry, raspberry, something like that, or your apple tree, you'll lose the fruit from that point out. And you might get lucky, depending on where you're located. They may not be, the population might not be high enough to really cause you loss, but if you are in a place that you're hearing lots and lots of cicadas, or you're seeing lots and lots of them flying like what we've got here at the office, you'll probably have loss. There is no spray that is effective to prevent the problem. You can kill, I can spray this with permethrin or something and it'll kill it, but there's so many of them out there that we couldn't spray enough to try to prevent the damage from all of them. So my advice is, it's a little late now, but the best solution is to net things. So they make a netting that you can buy online that is specifically for cicadas, and it's a finer mesh than the bird netting. The netting that I usually put on my blueberries is an inch. I think it's an inch square, and that's obviously that bug could easily go in to something an inch size. But the ones that are for cicadas are usually a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 inch, and that precludes them. The only issue is you have to be careful that they aren't already in there and that they can't get underneath, because you see they like to crawl around on the ground. If it's open on the bottom at all, they can still get in there and they can still lay eggs. So you might just accept that you're going to have some loss and not worry about it, or you can put the nets on and maybe cut down on the loss. And if you have a little bit, that's not the end of the world. But once they drop to the ground and they burrow back into the ground, they will attach to the root system of the trees, and they will feed on the roots of the trees, the sap and things coming from the tree for the next 16 years. And then they will come out again. And we don't know if they do this. It might be out there and I just don't know, but we're not sure. I'm not sure if they do it based on the freeze thaw, like if they know during the winter that the sap changes and they kind of stop, or if they continue to develop, or how they know that it's been 17 years. But it has to be associated with the winter and the summer and the sap coming and going from the tree. But the benefit, sometimes people will ask, well, why do we need them? And why do we have to have such a thing? And if you're a fisherman, you love them. Fish feed on these and delight in them. They make a great fishing bait, and obviously it's like a bonanza for the fish, and they've got an abundant food supply in a year when these things come out. Same thing applies to turkeys and most wildlife. So songbirds, I've watched songbirds in my yard chase them. Even little sparrows will chase them down and feed on them. And I was going to take you out in the woods, but it's been trying to rain off and on, so I figured we would just stay here. But there's a spot across the way where there were the remains of cicadas. The wings have been clipped off, and the body is gone, but the wings are still there. And a lot of times that's squirrels that do that. So squirrels love them, coyotes love them. I don't know that there's hardly any animal that doesn't feed on them. The reason why they come all out at once is that is a defense mechanism. They try to overwhelm the predators by coming out in such large numbers that some of them have to survive. So rabbits employ that same defense mechanism, and aphids, fish, when they school together in big large numbers, that's what they're doing. They're trying to hedge against the entire family being wiped out by reproducing in such large numbers that some of them are going to survive. And so that means that we get overwhelmed with them. A lot of the old settlers thought that it reminded them of the locusts that were talked about in the Bible, and so that's why they call them locusts. A lot of people around here still call them that, but it's a cicada. We do have an annual version of this, and the annual version is green, kind of a mint green, and it's a little larger than these are, and it doesn't have the red eyes like these do. This one kind of reminds me of the old Whitesburg High School. It's got the orange and the black, but the annual ones are that mint green, and just a fascinating insect. And if you want specific information on them, if you call the office, we've got a publication on periodical cicadas. It'll tell you when each of the different broods are going to come out, and they give different names for them. I think they've started, Dr. Larson has started calling this one the bourbon brood because of where it's primarily located. But last year they had the Great Southern Brood, and that one was basically up and down the Mississippi River. And but this was our year, and I think they're really neat. I like hearing them, and I like seeing them flying around. I guess if I just wash my truck, I might have a complaint, because they'll smack. If you're driving down the road and there's all kinds of them driving across or flying across, you're going to mess up a nice clean wash job. But other than that, it's not really a problem in houses. It doesn't feed on anything in our garden, really. It's not going to attack any of our vegetable crops. It's mostly just our fruit growers that complain about them. And other than that, I think they're a benefit by boosting the numbers of things. One other thing that I would point out to you is there's one animal in particular that absolutely loves them. And I don't know what to say about it, except it is what it is. Copperheads love these things. Snakes in general do, but copperheads, it's like filet mignon to them. So they seek them out, and if you're in an area where there's a lot of cicadas, you might want to pay attention as you walk through the woods. They might have attracted copperheads to that area, and just watch where you step. So again, if you've got any questions about it, you can call the office at 606-633-2362, and we can answer any questions that you've got, or we can send you a publication. I will show you one more thing. James, if you'll hand me that little medicine bottle that's behind you. I've got some here that are dead. So they've got a lot of different things that can wreak havoc with them, and I found one. These are all dead now, I think. I'll let that one crawl off. This one here is showing one of the pests that they can get, or diseases that they can get. Whoops. This is actually a fungus. When I first saw that, I thought maybe a mud dauber or something had parasitized it, but that's not what that is. That chalky stuff that you see there is a fungus, and it has actually eaten into the abdomen of that cicada, and it will produce little spores that will be airborne, and it can infect other cicadas. So they do have some problems that affect them, and I just wanted to show you that. Is that showing up good, James?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. So one other thing that people will point out sometimes, and I don't know if this is true, but one of the identifiers on them is this W or the M that's in the back. Because we're in Wattsburg, I'm going to say it's a W. It kind of reminds me of, again, Wattsburg High School, the orange and the black, and it's got the W for the Wattsburg on it. Does that make all you Wattsburg people feel a little better about it? You got your own insect. Pretty cool thing. That's all I've got to talk about them. Again, if you want to call us, we can send you a publication. And until next time, good being with you today. And I hope you have a great rest of your summer in 2025. And good day from the Extension office.